Welcome back, everybody. We are back here in the cabin with your boy Coco D and everybody's favorite guest, Corey Capron.
Hello.
How's it going, Corey?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing, Coco?
Not bad, not bad. Coming off fresh off watching this episode. What are we on, 5?
We're on 5.
And am I wrong in saying that shit got lit?
It was rather lit. Yes, ignition was achieved.
So as always, just starting off, what did you think of this episode?
Um, I like this one quite a bit. It's it did some of the stuff we were kind of hoping for, which was kind of a mix of the Outworld and the real world and the WandaVision world. It did some of the things I was hoping it would do, and then it kind of threw me for a loop. And so it was predictable in ways that were pleasing and unpredictable in ways that are exciting.
So basically, what we have in this episode, we have the TV world, WandaVision, where we're in Westview, and Wanda has her 2 kids, and her 2 kids decide to age, probably like what, 7 years, give or take.
10 by the end of it.
So they age, and then it becomes one of the lost dog episodes that you find in your basic 90s sitcoms. But mixed in with all that was we had Vision. Well, let's start with Agatha. Not Agatha, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it is Agatha. Agatha or Agnes? I forgot which one I assume she is and which one she actually is.
We assume she's Agatha. She is Agnes.
All right. Agnes kind of made it known that she's fully aware that she's not in a real world. And then we had Vision, who straight up figured out he's not in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
And on the sword side of things, they found a way to kind of break through and give Vision a clue that he's not in the real world.
Yep.
And then we got the ending, which we'll get to at the end. So, starting off, do you have any theories as to who's who?
I am still a little suspicious of the head of sword. I know that this episode really kind of hammered down that he was not the big bad when Wanda turned all the guards on him. And he's definitely agitated a few things. And I don't think that he's like Mephisto or something anymore. But there were some interesting things, like how Wanda, we found out the Vision's body is in fact stolen and being reanimated in
Called it.
Did. But that whole scene was a little curious to me. One, would Wanda known where this top secret location was? I would think she would, for when he kind of talked about like burial wishes, like it kind of seemed like she would know about this site, but also that she broke into it. I don't know, something about that whole scene was a little like this feels like one of those things where we find out later on that people were pointed in directions and put in motion.
I would agree with that if she didn't literally imprison an entire town. Like, so Wanda was never exactly stable. I can't imagine grief did any wonders for her.
Yeah. They're leaning really hard now. And speaking of calling it the ending, I think you get credit for that one.
Damn straight.
They're leaning hard on House of M. Or like inverted House of M. And of course they had
the emotions are there.
Yeah. And then they had the dog Sparky from the WandaVision comic.
Oh yeah, I saw that and I like pointed it out to I watched this with Megan. And I pointed out to Megan and she was like, it's a dog. I was like, yeah, but it's the dog.
Yes, and it dies the same way.
God, there's honestly so much that happened in this episode.
Yeah, it was a busy episode.
You were actually spot on with the length of the episode getting longer as we go along.
It was
because this one was 40 minutes long versus the I think the first one was like 29 minutes.
Yeah, they've been gradually getting longer.
So my favorite scene of this whole thing, excuse me. So they found out, the sword people find out that if you send something into Westview that's from the 80s, it doesn't change. So they send in a drone. And then Wanda sees the drone and Wanda gets pissed. In her defense, they pointed a missile at her children. It's fair.
Yeah, he done goofed.
But that scene where she comes out was fantastic. So I honestly did not think they would pull that this soon. I guess we're reaching the end of it, but like, still, she came out and they talked. Like, it wasn't anymore like what's going on. It was Wanda came out and said to fucking go.
Yeah, like I said, this had to be where we had a point of conflict with Wanda so that we could, if there is a big bad, have enough time to then reveal the big bad, but also it's like attempt to stop situation, find out new information, attempt to stop it again, climax. Like we've got four more episodes, I think, right?
Believe so, yeah.
We have 3 more episodes. So that's about the time structure we've got to do that in. So it either had to be like Vision and her threw down, which fireballs weren't thrown, but they did.
Tensions rose literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into that, we find out that Vision finds out what's going on. And our boy, who, if y'all all remember, is pure hard enough to like lift Thor's hammer, ain't happy, and he gets mad to the point where like powers are shown.
Yeah, because people are in pain, and I actually have another morbid theory about things, because when they discover Rambeau's clothes are just sort of Full Metal Alchemist into 70s clothes. They're made of the same material. It's just reorganized. All energy has to come from something. And these kids are not affected by Maximov's magic. They are able to do things with autonomy. They created life. Where is that life coming from?
Exactly.
Also,
because they even said that those are Wanda's kids.
Folk. We saw, we used to have like a whole committee of people, neighborhood watch. We're down to like 4 or 5 people now.
That's true, but you did see all the people in Vision's office.
Well, yeah, they're still around because
and the people like outside when they were walking around. So there's still people around, I guess.
And I think what's her name, with the silver hair, will come back.
Baddie.
But like Baddie, we had cutaway shots of her in prior episodes.
That's true. Ferb wasn't in this either.
Yeah. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to find out by the end of this that to create all these lives, they might be sucking life out of other things or people.
So touching on characters themselves, Agatha had some interesting moments in this show.
Did.
For example, she doesn't seem to question the kid's aging or Wanda's magic or any of that.
Yeah.
And as Vision pointed out, she's always there with exactly what they need when they need it.
Mhm.
Not to mention the whole, like, do you want me to take that line again scene?
Which is curious for me for a couple of reasons. One, um, you know, she's talking to Wanda as an actor talks to a director. Do you want me to take that shot again, that bit again? Where do you want me to start my line? Kind of stuff. Which tells me that she's not the one behind the scenes pulling the strings, but is probably much like when she works for Mephisto, yes, but I don't think she's necessarily serving Wanda either. She is serving whatever the grand plan is.
There's also the fact that in this episode, it seems like, and like you see this throughout the series, Wanda's losing more and more control.
Yeah.
Like she's definitely losing grip more and more each episode.
She's losing control, but order is being maintained.
Barely.
Well, no, I'm saying like she's losing control of things, but everything isn't spiraling out of control when like her and Vision are about to fight. Suddenly Pedro appears, and it's not by her conscious doing.
See, that's the thing though. It's not by her conscious doing. So is it somebody else controlling her as well, or is her magic just that strong?
I almost think that like, I mean, it could be that her subconscious is wreaking havoc, but I almost think that suggests that there is, again, I keep leaning on Mephisto because I think that's how it's going to play out. I don't know if he's going to show up in the show, but yeah, it seems like someone is kind of coming in and patching things to keep things going to whatever end they're supposed to go to when Wanda.
I do agree with that, and I do agree that Agatha is straight up their pawn because, they mentioned, she's always there to keep everything going.
Yeah,
in a direction.
It's kind of like we were talking a few episodes back about this being very Rosemary's Baby. In Rosemary's Baby, they have a neighbor who is always checking on because her goal is to make sure that the son of Satan is born accordingly. But it's a very similar kind of dynamic of, hi, I heard noises. Would you like some hot soup? So I think that she's an agent in this, not necessarily the Grandmaster.
I definitely don't think she's like controlling anything. I definitely think she is, like you said, like a pawn. So we know Vision's actual body is in this place. We know Wanda is somewhat in control, but possibly not the only one in control. We know her powers are definitely growing. Yeah. We know these kids ain't normal. And we know Agatha's sus as hell.
Yep.
Now, the biggest shock. Disney's been doing this lately, where they just like bring in a surprise twist. Pietro comes back.
Yeah.
But not the Pietro we know.
Which actually makes sense and makes me actually rethink what I was saying earlier about people. What if it's not the townsfolk that are being sucked the life force out of? What if she's just like killing people in other realities or pulling them in?
I was wondering about that when Pietro showed up and those other people didn't show up on the missing persons thing. Yeah. I was wondering, are they part of this reality? Also, before we get deep into Pietro, because I know we both want to talk about that, the Postman.
Yes.
We saw the Postman again.
And he's sketchy.
Oh, I forgot. They say something to him, and they said something. And I was like, sus.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going to go with him. You know, like I said, it could be something where it's like, haha, he is Mephisto. But like, more than anything, I think it's just like, pay attention to the Postman.
Yo, did Beekeeper guy become her kids?
Did he never come back?
Nah, bruh. She said no. It rewound, and then she was pregnant.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
So
No, get in my belly.
jumping back to Pietro.
Yes.
So obviously, being the nerdy man I was flipping shit when it happened, and I kept telling.
It's not Kick-Ass Pedro. It's not her Pedro. It's Peter Evans. He's not going to do one. Does somebody need an American horror? Reporting for duty.
I was watching it with Megan, who is not as savvy in the comic book lore as we are, and I kept yelling like, "That's Quicksilver! That's Quicksilver from the X-Men! Like that's Quicksilver!" And she was like, "Yeah, okay, they got the same actor." I was like, "No, you don't understand. That's Quicksilver from the X-Men thing." And she was like, "Yeah." Then I remembered they never referred to either of them as Quicksilver in the X-Men or the Marvel movies. So she didn't understand why that was relevant. So like it was weird seeing it from someone who doesn't know that's point of view, where like that reveal meant nothing. Whereas me, I'm just like, oh, they just introduced a whole nother franchise into the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to explain to her, I was like, no, it's not just the actor who happened to play Quicksilver. Like that is her brother from another universe.
Which could just mean that by the end of this, she's going to pull in the X-Men.
So going off of that, which is absolutely, that is, as I said before, I 100% believe that that's how that's going to happen. They just managed to introduce the X-Men into their universe. And the last time, somebody else, the last time I saw somebody revamp a universe like that was actually the X-Men, where they got rid of
Days of Future Past.
Where they got rid of the Wolverine movie and X-Men 3, at least. They might have also gotten rid of X2.
I don't think they got rid of the Wolverine.
The first Wolverine movie,
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
The first Wolverine movie with the weird Deadpool got rewritten after Days of Future Past. That never happened.
Yeah, no, that one didn't.
I don't know if Wolverine 2 still technically happened, but I know the first Wolverine movie and the Phoenix movie, the original X-Men 3 Phoenix movie, both got deleted after Days of Future Past. X2, I honestly don't know if that still happened. I'm assuming, I don't know if X1 and X2 still technically happened, but I know for fact that like Wolverine and the first X-Men 3 are no longer a thing.
And also, I mean, Logan is in its own universe.
I try not to think about Logan because I like that movie a lot and I want it to be accurate.
Well, I mean,
like, I want it to be like canon.
Well, it's canon in the way that all this stuff's canon. Look, Old Man Logan gets pulled into the normal X-Men universe when Wolverine gets statued in adamantium.
Oh yeah,
like it's all canon. Like it's just
Old Man Logan got eaten by a hawk once, and that was fucking weird.
Blunderbuss. It's.
I remember when Old Man Logan got eaten by Hawk, and Hawk was having like insane amounts of sex and creating little Hawklings, and then like Old Man Logan like cut himself out of Hawk's belly. Comics are fucking weird, Capron. Comics are fucking weird.
They are. Hey, I mean, at least we haven't had to deal with the Brood.
So I'm looking forward to, now that they've opened up this Pandora's box of like they can bring in whoever they want. We already knew that Deadpool and X-Men, that's a thing, but they opened the door for the Netflix shows to come into the universe.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, Murdoch's coming back for Spider-Man, and Spider is just looking ridiculous. Like, you got probably all the other Spider-Men coming back for it.
There's rumors of William Dafoe being involved.
Jamie Foxx is confirmed. Electro is coming.
I think what's happening is basically we're seeing what happens when you fuck with the Infinity Stones too much. So I think this is all going to turn into y'all snapped 3 too many times and y'all ripped some holes into the fabric of time and space.
Behold the convergence.
I think it's going to end with everything getting wiped and then Disney fucking letting themselves start over, which would be the most insane shit I would have seen in the franchise. If they spend the next if they spend 20 years fucking building a universe, making it make sense for everything to come together in all of its fucking franchises, and then having the perfect reason to fucking erase it and start fresh and keep making money, Disney's a goddamn champ. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen, but that would be the most wild shit as a nerd to see happen. That somebody can just fucking come in, spend 2 decades building up their own world, then when it comes to a conclusion, instead of being like, that's it, being like, nah, watch this. And then boom, let's do it again.
I mean, like, I honestly half expect if Disney just keeps growing unstopped, like, there is in an office somewhere there in a computer somewhere in Feige's, Fortress of Solitude, like a little plan out for DC versus Marvel. It's like they'll buy Warner Brothers, and then they'll be like, yes, Thor versus Superman, we can do it. It is ours. The multiverse is busting up here. We're getting into the big cosmic stuff. They've got Silver Surfer coming down the line. They've got Galactus.
My girl is apparently rumored to be coming to the Marvel Universe. Daisy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nice. Oh, yeah, I sent you a link. They're talking about doing... You see, I'm always suspicious when people say reboot, because reboot really just means we don't want to say what it is. Like, is it a remake? Is it an actual reboot? Is it we're keep the show going and like retcon the last season? But they are talking about bringing back Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Disney canon.
Oh yeah, I didn't read them because the first one mentioned the finale, and I haven't watched it yet. And I didn't want to get spoilers, so I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah, no, the first one I sent you was I sent the wrong link because I went down the rabbit hole after I found the initial article. I don't remember if it was Screen Crush or who had it, but yeah, it was something they're talking about. So you might get your Coulson back, which would also mean a world of Ghost Rider.
God, yes, that's all I want. We've gone off on tangents again, going back to WandaVision. Well, actually, this all connects to WandaVision.
Yeah, like WandaVision's...
It's opening the door to a lot of shit.
Yeah. We're in the cabin. This isn't the WandaVision show. It's just, this is what we're doing.
But, I mean, WandaVision, they pretty much made a 10-episode show that basically allowed them to open the door to introduce everything else that Disney currently owns.
And they've put enough stakes into it that you have to get Disney Plus. Like initially I thought they won't do these things, and then it clicked to me. It's like, no, they're going to make the future of this franchise contingent on events that happen on Disney Plus, so everyone gets Disney Plus.
And that just takes it into like the whole... I personally don't particularly care. I don't like watching normal TV anyway. I'll stream everything. But I can see where people would get annoyed where you have to watch shows to watch movies.
Yeah.
But honestly though, for someone like me, like what the biggest audience for comic book movies are, This is the kind of shit we want. What we call expanded universe.
Yeah, no, and it's not even really so much like I'm using a kind of a you villainous tone, just because I think at some point Disney is going to become so powerful that it's going to be hard to do stuff like this and not be Disney. However, they're giving me what I want.
So overall, what we found out in this episode of WandaVision, Vision knows what's up now. We have Quicksilver from another universe.
Who I love doesn't even try to have a Sokovian accent because he's not.
Yes, I love that.
It's like, hi, I'm Quicksilver. Oh, my love, how are you?
I also appreciate that.
I'm quick. Sorry, what?
I appreciate that Wanda's accent came back when she left.
Yeah, when she gets mad, she gets Slovenian. What am I talking about?
Sokovia.
Yeah, she doesn't turn into Slavoj Žižek. She turns into.
Oh damn! The commercial was fucking rude.
Oh, spoilers much?
That was just rude. Like, come on. So basically the commercial is like Lagos paper towels. So when you have an accident that you want to take back or something like that.
Yeah. That was rude.
You just I was like, guys.
Oh, which reminds me
leave her alone. It was an accident. Damn.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder like who is doing the commercials. Is it her subconscious? And it also brings me to another thing about the episode. I've heard a few people make theories about this because this episode is the first time that we've heard Scarlet and Pedro's Pedro's parents' names dropped in the briefing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to what they were.
Yeah, the sword briefing, it was oh god, I don't remember. I'm bad with names. Like Olga and like it sounded like the names I think we had heard. And did they say their parents' names? No, they didn't in Age of Ultron. So it might be the first time we've actually heard formally that Wanda and Pedro had parents. Now, you know, it could still be that the father's the stepfather and Magneto is out there, but I think what they're really establishing is no, this is as it appears in this universe, and in the other universe, they're Magneto's children. And so when she brings over Pedro, Peter in the X-Men universe, Peter Evans is Pedro. He's Magneto's son, but I don't think we're going to find out that our Wanda is Magneto's Wanda.
It's going to be real interesting how they handle that. And I can't wait to see how they handle that.
But the other, something I've seen a couple of people suggest is not necessarily as, again, people behind the scenes, but like if it is her psyche, the actors who keep playing in the commercials might be her parents.
Oh.
Like that could be like her brain casting her parents as them, because otherwise, who are they? Are they are like they may even be some of the people that we don't have names for in the missing people.
That's true.
They're outside of the community. It's not like, you know, they have townsfolk cast as them.
You mentioned the head of sword.
Yeah.
What's sketchy to me about him is that he seems to really have a vendetta against Wanda in general.
He does. Like
he was you could definitely know what side he was on during Civil War.
Yeah. No, like it may come down to like him showing up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier teaming up with like what's his name from Hulk, the
General Ross?
Yeah, like it could be like they team up and become part of the.
I'd be incredibly interested if they brought back Hawk characters.
Yeah, no, I mean Ross has been around. I wouldn't mind seeing another character from that movie. A certain Hulk enemy.
It wouldn't surprise me because don't we getting SheHulk?
Yeah. No, we're getting like SheHulk attorney at law.
Which would be a very good way to introduce the Netflix shows, considering that she's Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' lawyer.
I think Murdoch is going to appear on SheHulk.
That would make sense. It would be. If they do that, I want them to make a reference to when Daredevil appeared in Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, WandaVision. We got Vision knows what's up. Wanda seems like she's only in part control, but doesn't realize it. Agatha sus, Postman sus, head of Sword is sus. The kids are hella sus. And we have new universes. So this was a jam-packed episode. And I cannot wait to see how this shit plays out. Because I'm assuming the next episode is going to be the Halloween episode.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is.
Not to mention all the references to like old 90s cartoons, i.e. Full House. They straight up, Growing Pains of Full House, they straight up just...
And what's another one? Was it Family Ties or...
Family Matters? Is that it? Family Ties? I'm not as good at with 90s shows as...
Family Matters is my jam.
I watch a lot of them, but I don't have the memory that I do of like weirdly enough older shows as I do.
I mean, I'm all for Wanda versus Evil Urkel. That would be a fight for the ages. But
it's weird because like so much happens in WandaVision in such a short time. It's like there's so much to talk about, but then like there's not really much to talk about because we don't know what any of it really means yet.
I mean, yeah, we don't have a big baddie revealed other than Wanda. And I mean, Wanda might just be the big baddie. And there are some people poking her, kind of the way that like she got into the Hulk's head and caused all kinds of hell.
True.
It may not be that there's, it may be like you gave a kid a gun kind of thing, not you pointed him in the direction. It could be something like that because they seem to be kind of, they had that little dick measuring contest about Wanda versus Captain Marvel. They're like, well, Wanda could have just defeated Thanos if he hadn't called in an airstrike.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to talk about Captain Marvel. Fuck her. Like, she's my mom's friend and she ain't been around.
Yeah.
That was an interesting little character moment.
Yeah, I noticed that and I was like, huh. What do you like? What's going on with you and CM, Monica? But yeah, although in that argument, both of them were about to fucking own Thanos.
Yeah.
Until Thanos like called in help. But yeah, I fully believe Wanda would have destroyed him if he didn't call in an airstrike. The only reason Captain Marvel couldn't take him out is because anyone getting hit with the pure force of one of the Infinity Stones is going to take an L real quick.
He punched her with the Power Stone,
and she lived. So she cool. She cool in my book.
He punched her with her source of power.
Not even that, she got punched with the source of power in the universe and stood back up.
It'd be like beating Superman to death with a Superman. Like you took one, you froze him into a popsicle, and then you beat the other one to death with him.
So Capron, do you have any final closing thoughts on episode 5 of WandaVision?
It's gonna get dark.
I hope so.
I think, like,
The kids
I
are gonna
was
die.
joking
I think the kids are
before
gonna
when I
die.
was like, "Hey, did somebody need an American Horror?" Peter Evans reporting for duty, but no, I think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna walk out of this with Wanda being necessarily a good guy.
I think her kids are gonna die, and she's gonna absolutely fucking lose it.
I think her kids are gonna live.
Really?
I think that they are going to be the Young Avengers.
Well, yeah, but I think they will come back, but I think they're gonna die in WandaVision. I mean, because that's how it works actually how it happened. They did come back eventually in the comics, and they started the Young Avengers. But the only reason I would hope for that is because the Miss Marvel show is coming, and she's like her and Miles Morales are the cornerstone of the Young Avengers. And if they don't do something with Miles Morales, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
I mean, I like Miles. I'm down for some Miles.
But yeah, Miss Marvel, Miles Morales,
they finally
Cloak
got
and Dagger.
right. Like, I love me some Toby, but like they finally got like a perfect Peter Parker. So I kind of want to milk that a bit, but I'm here for Miles when they decide it's time.
There's a scrapped episode me and Kyle did a long time ago before we released our first episode of Black and White. It's an hour and a half long episode where we discuss every Spider-Man movie that has been released. And we came to the conclusion that Tom Holland was the only actor that was both a perfect Spider-Man and perfect Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because we thought our theory was that Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man, iffy Peter Parker. Great Peter Parker, iffy Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man, iffy Peter Parker.
Yep.
And then Tom Holland was both. And I don't think any of them were bad. I do think Andrew
Garfield
was a terrible Peter Parker. I
think Tom Holland got done dirty with that bullshit sequel. But anyway, I know we got Kingley waiting for us. So
I forgot about him. We eagerly await WandaVision episode 6. It's gonna pop off, and I absolutely cannot wait.
I think it's gonna get dark. I think we're going to have casualties. I think the kids will live, but I think that they are going to get more Children of the Damned as they go along. And yeah, I mean, that's about it for predictions. I think a lot of the stuff we've already said kind of still stands.
All right, well, as always, Capron, thank you for having me here at the cabin. It is always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise.
And I will be chatting with you again next week when episode 6 of WandaVision drops.
Sounds good.